Straight ahead on 12 News, putting a face to the creation of parks in Plymouth.
Basically built the city park system.
Plus, ever wonder why road construction work zones are designed the way they are? We go straight to the people who see the other side of road construction. But first, the busiest holiday on the road. But we meet up with people who have good reason not to go anywhere. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. If you are traveling over the 4th of July weekend, you will have plenty of company.
According to AAA, a record 43 million people will be going somewhere over the holiday, 5 million more than Memorial Day weekend. And as Eric Nelson reports, accidents are already piling up.
Get ready for the Great American Road Trip.
It's nice to get away.
A whopping 36 million U.S. residents will jam highways over the July 4th weekend.
Not surprised, it's going to be nice.
The goal for most of these travelers is to celebrate the USA's 240th birthday. But with all these cars and trucks on the road, accidents are bound to happen. There were a couple this morning in the Northwest Metro, including a collision on I-94 in Maple Grove where a jet ski was knocked off a trailer.
Drive carefully, merge safely, watch out for the other guy.
The Minnesota State Patrol wants drivers to buckle up, slow down, and stop texting.
Yeah, texting is definitely probably the worst issue I see.
The State Patrol also wants people to avoid drinking and driving at all costs.
If they're going from one event to another, have a designated driver. And if you're riding with somebody that's had too much to drink, speak up, maybe take their keys, because the life you say may be your friends or somebody else's.
Yup, July 4th is the quintessential travel holiday, but not everyone wants to deal with the gridlock and hassle factor.
Oh no, I know better.
Some folks aren't going anywhere.
We're not going to fight the highways. We just stay at home. Just stay at home.
No, I don't. I spent 10 years working for MnDOT designing roads and bridges. I know what the traffic is like.
One thing that has fueled this high volume of traffic is the cost of fuel. Gas prices for this July 4th weekend are the lowest they've been since 2005. Reporting along I-694 in Brooklyn Center, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
In Minnesota, drivers will likely find road construction work zones that could slow down those travel times.
With aging roads, construction is a necessary nuisance, and designing the layout of those work zones comes down to safety. For drivers in Minnesota,
oh, I see construction everywhere I turn.
This summer brings a sea of orange that can make some see red.
You try and get home to do certain things. You can't get home in a timely fashion because traffic's messed up.
It can be frustrating if you're on a time crunch, and I feel like we usually are in this day and age.
Judd Roby gets it.
You pull up to a work zone and you think, how long am I going to be here? And you're frustrated.
However, Roby also sees the other side of road construction.
Our roads were built in 1940 and 1950, and they're really in bad shape.
For more than 20 years, Judd Roby and Lynn Berg have been the men behind many of the signs you see when you enter a construction zone.
It's the tools to develop those signs correctly and those work zones correctly.
As owners of SignCAD systems,
basically what we're doing is we're doing a demo showing how Cone Zone operates.
Roby and Berg developed Cone Zone and SignCAD. They're software programs used by state agencies and construction companies across the country to plan and design the layout of work zones, as well as the traffic signs within each project. This example shows a lane closure on I-494.
That's the actual work zone itself. That's where the actual machinery is going to be, and that's where they're building.
Based on state standards, the software program determines everything from the speed limit in a work zone.
So we apply it, and voila, that work zone is done.
To how far the cones are spaced. Safety is the #1 objective, yet accidents still occur. Last year in Minnesota work zones, there were more than 1,600 crashes and 10 fatalities. All of those fatalities were drivers and their passengers.
They have to be patient. They're very, very patient. And look, we don't want any fatalities in that work zone.
Road construction can be a pain, but navigating through it is part of a design for better roads ahead. And there is one road construction project that you won't have to watch out for anymore this summer. County Road 47 has reopened under I-494. The road had been closed for the past month while crews reconstructed the northbound I-494 bridge. The entire 494 project is expected to wrap up this fall.
Fire officials say arson is to blame for a fire this week at a Brooklyn Park apartment complex, the third arson there in the past 3 years. 5 people were hurt, one critically at the Huntington Place apartments after a fire broke out on the 3rd floor early Tuesday morning. Many residents thought the fire was a false alarm. The fire department was first called to the apartments at 12:30, which turned out to be a false alarm. They were then called back 30 minutes later for a real fire. Officials are now trying to catch the person or persons responsible.
We have definitively determined was intentionally set using an ignitable liquid. The fire began in the hallway outside of apartment number 226 and extended into that apartment, forcing that resident to jump from the 3rd floor window.
And anyone with information on that fire can call an anonymous arson hotline, and that number is on your screen, 1-800-723-2020.
A Brooklyn Park man is sentenced for sex trafficking a teenage girl. A federal judge sentenced 25-year-old Michael Harris to 10 years in prison. According to Harris's guilty plea, he used Facebook to recruit a girl still in high school. He took photos of her that were used in an ad on Backpage.com. He then sold her for sex over a 4-month period, causing the girl to miss school. The U.S. Attorney's Office says sex trafficking is not only a national problem, but it's also a local one.
Visitors to a Plymouth park this week received some unwelcome news when they returned to their vehicles. Vandals had smashed out the windows of 6 vehicles parked along the 5500 block of Zachary Lane near Timber Shores Park. The incident happened Monday night between 8:45 and 9:39 p.m. However, nothing was taken from any of the vandalized cars. Police say they don't have much information to go on, but they have stepped up patrols in the area since Monday. And Crime Stoppers is offering a reward of up to $1,000 for information leading to the arrest of the suspects. Anyone with information should call Plymouth Police or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. Well, coming up, we meet a man who had a big hand in creating Plymouth's park system.
And then a little bit later in sports, it may be summer, but girls basketball teams in our area are already working hard to get ready for next season.
But first, prep the grill and keep the sunscreen nearby. This weekend is truly lake-worthy.
If you are out enjoying a Plymouth park this weekend, think for a moment about the changes the area has seen.
One manager with the City of Plymouth can tell many stories about the changes the city parks have undergone in the past 30 years. Reporter Shannon Slatton introduces us to a man who has been on the front lines of creating Plymouth parks.
Ready? Parker's Lake is probably our most popular park.
Today, Parker's Lake is a popular place in Plymouth, but it wasn't always that way.
We just have seen a transformation of this area here, Parker's Lake in particular. Across the road there was nothing. It was just an open area where people would pull off County Road 6 once in a while and park down by the lake.
In the 36 years Dan Heike has spent working for the city, he's seen many transformations like this one.
Over my 36 years, we built at least one park each year, maybe 2.
One of his responsibilities has been working with the nonprofit group Tree Trust, which employs teenagers every summer for outdoor work like landscaping or building projects.
And we've been giving them projects that we think this is going to be difficult for them, but between their supervisors and the crews that we've been able to work with, they've really tackled some things. They've built some walkways through areas that we weren't sure that could even be done.
From the ponds to the landscaping, it's easy to see the impact Tree Trust has made around Parker's Lake.
The steps will come right up here to the top, and then we'll do some landscaping here.
There's another job underway too at Parker's Lake, one that Dan Heike will continue to oversee before he retires at the 1st of August. Working outside, creating and maintaining parks is what Dan has loved about his job, and one he'll miss in retirement.
He basically built this city park system, so got a lot invested in it, and I know he won't be going away. He'll be checking over my shoulder, even in retirement. So
it's been a great job. It's been my dream job.
In Plymouth, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
In retirement, Dan plans to keep working outside by keeping up his farm and enjoying his growing group of grandchildren. And both of those sound like good plans.
Good things, yes.
Coming up, art inspired by summer.
But first, summer fast-pitch girls softball teams are into the home stretch of their seasons. Jay Wilcox has that and much more coming up next in sports.
3 local squads are playing in Delano's 4th of July American Legion baseball tournament. Wayzata won its opener over the host team, and then Osseo faced Providence Academy Friday afternoon. The top of the first, Osseo gets it done with defense. They turn a 4-6-3 twin killing to end a Providence threat. The bottom half of the first, Osseo's Cameron Perna delivers a base hit to score Eric Lyons. Osseo gets on the board first with a 1-0 lead. Top of the second, Andrew Rossini comes through for Providence, drilling a double to bring Michael Henches home. That ties the score up at 1-1. Osseo retakes the lead in the bottom of the second as Tim Lavin scores on a ground out. That'll make it 2-1 in favor of Osseo. Rossini's sacrifice fly makes it 3-2 Providence in the third, but Osseo surges ahead from there. That tournament continues through the 4th of July. Some future Wayzata American Legion players perhaps are having a solid season. The Plymouth-Wayzata 15U AAA team hosting St. Louis Park. Scoreless in the bottom of the 4th until Wayzata's Turner McIntosh drives a fly ball to the gap. It scores Maxwell McAtee and Blake Ask for a 2-0 lead. Next batter is Jerry Jang, and he lifts a fly ball over the outfielder to score McIntosh. That makes it a 3-0 lead for Wayzata. The bottom of the 5th, Tommy Ransom singles to score Campbell Thomas and Jang for a 9-0 Wayzata lead. Jang closes it out for Wayzata by striking out the side in the 7th. Wayzata gets the shutout. 9-0 is the final. As we hit July, regular seasons are winding down for many local summer fast-pitch softball teams. 2 local teams met up as Cooper Armstrong Heat visited Osseo Maple Grove Callan Thomas in 14U play. Osseo Maple Grove's Kendall Potratz hits a chopper over third and into left. McKenna Thomas scores for a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first, and it's the start of a big inning. Later in the same inning, the Storm's Olivia Click will ground a single up the middle to bring Miranda Shields home. They get 6 runs in the first inning. In the second, Potratz grounds a single to center to score Click, and it becomes 8-0 Osseo Maple Grove. Still in the second inning, and Shields bounces to third. The Heat third baseman has no play as Kate Kapsner scores. It's 11-0 through 2. Osseo Maple Grove also plays well defensively. Pitcher Cameron Heinen pounces on the bunt, fires to first just to get the out. Despite a well-hit ball, it'll turn into a double play, too. A liner to short is caught. The Heat runner is doubled off first base. It's dropped, but then the tag applied here to get that second out. Shields knocks in a couple of runs to extend the lead as her single scores a pair. Osseo Maple Grove rolls to a 13-0 win. They won Game 2 of the doubleheader, 9-3. Next week is Blackout Week, where high school coaches can't work with their athletes. But June was a busy month for many players. Here's John Jacobson with more.
For a lot of athletes, there is no off-season. Put many of these local girls basketball players in that camp. Maple Grove and Osseo are just 2 local programs that host summer sessions for middle and high school-aged players.
We go from 7 to 8:30 in the morning, and we have just really been working fundamentals and just individual skills and kind of working on building those things up. Also showing the kids a lot of things they can do on their own when they're not in the gym.
We're trying to sharpen skills. Doing that stuff during the season is hard. So that's when we use the off season to tweak things and work on our shots and work on our footwork and work on our spacing and some scheme stuff as opposed to putting in plays and things like that. We're not quite doing that yet.
Osseo just wrapped up its 3-day-a-week sessions on Thursday, while Maple Grove will continue 3 days a week again starting July 12th. The coaches and players say the summer workouts are good, not only for skills, but for building team chemistry for the future.
It helps us get a feel and see how the team's gonna look next year, how we're gonna have to run our offenses and who's has better strengths and who's gonna be the post.
At Osseo, they call it the Breakfast Club. and say mornings like this are beneficial to the OHS program.
I think it's definitely beneficial for us, and it gives us a chance to just see all the faces and kind of see who's coming and everything too. We have our incoming 7th grade through 12th grade come in. Get them in our gym, get them, feeling the orange and black right away and starting to, believe and get that feeling as well.
John Jacobson, 12 Sports.
Thanks, John. As you said, we do get a little break from each other, the athletes and coaches this week.
All right, thanks, Jay. We'll be right back. And finally, artists from around the West Metro pay tribute to summer.
And Neil Persley has more in today's Weekend Showcase.
Sunshine. So for me, it's about joy. Looking at the flowers makes me happy.
I tend to go toward bright, really light things.
Minnetonka Center for the Arts' new show, Art of the Garden, is truly a joyous ode to summer. Plymouth artist Holly Nelson captures the beauty of flowers with a brush.
With drawing and painting, it's almost like the emotions and the things that I see just come through me and out my hand. And on a good day, I just let it go. Flowers have a gesture, I would call it, just as people have a gesture, and so I try to capture that quickly.
Trish Gardner works in glass sculpture.
My glass flower sculptures are really inspired by my grandmother's garden.
Trish's work has also been featured in international shows in France and Mexico.
Growing up, I spent a lot of time with her, helping her in her garden, and making them just helps me keep her spirit alive.
She took her very first glass class at the Minnetonka Art Center and said she still has many real-life flower gardens which continue to inspire.
Big difference is I don't have to weed these gardens.
Another Plymouth resident, Kristen Jang, suffers from debilitating migraine headaches, which pushed her indoors to dark, calm spaces. Her stained glass work is a bright contrast.
I'm finding that even though I'll try different subjects in other mediums, I keep going for things that are bright, colorful, and outdoors, because that's kind of what I don't have anymore.
Kristen is self-taught in her stained glass artistry and works in a technique called mosaic.
You never work from a pattern. It's almost more like painting with glass.
Art of the Garden at the Minnetonka Center for the Arts is a summertime excursion worth taking. For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley, 12 News.
And for gallery hours, go to minnetonkaarts.org. That'll do it for now. Have a safe holiday weekend, everyone.
And we will see you back here again Tuesday, starting at 4.